All right. Hello everyone. Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Today we'll be taking a look at how to start with, we'll be learning about web scraping basically. Okay. So yeah, let's just quickly get started. We will be taking a look at what web scraping is from the very basics. This is going to be a very quick session. I won't be taking too much of your time. Again, this would be only for 30 minutes, and then we'll take a look at how to create an Amazon tracker, right? So that would be really interesting for all of you to take a look at. Okay, let's just start. I won't waste much time here. I'll just open up and I'll show you what web scraping really is about with Python. So first of all, what we'll do is that we will be getting ourselves BS4. Okay, now what is BS4? BS4 is basically beautiful soup, right? So if you go to beautiful soup, it's a way for you to just parse data from websites and you can just get some values from them. Okay, so just go to beautiful soup, and this is the documentation of this complete module. It's a module in Python. So if you want to install this, you can just do cmd, and when you open command prompt, or you can also open up terminal in your interface, you can just open up and say, okay, so we want to get first of all BS4. So we'll just install, we'll say import or pip install BS4. Okay, pip install BS4. You do this, and that way beautiful soup is getting downloaded. Okay, basically it gets installed into your Python environment. Next, what you can do is that you can now also get something like this. You can just say pip install requests. Okay, so what request does is that it allows you to send some sort of whatever request you want, right? So let's say you want to have some link and you want to get all of the information from that link. That is what request library will help you with. It's really helpful whenever you will be using like APIs or something that way. That is where I think this really comes into effect a lot more. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the benefit of using something like this. Let's take a look at what can we do with this now. Okay, so first of all, I'll just close this right now. That's basically all that we'll be needing. One more thing that we can install is LXML. Okay, now this is just basically a data type that you'll be having, LXML, PyPI. You can just search for this. PyPI is basically like Python package installer. Okay, so you can just search for this, copy, and go to command prompt and just paste this command right here. That way you will be able to now install LXML. Okay, it's just a way for you to get data, to parse data. Okay, so now I'll just close this part here, and let's try to open this up. I'll get rid of this, and here let's try to understand what we'll be doing. So first of all, we'll install BS4. Okay, we will install BS4. Now what we'll do with this is really interesting. So first of all, we install BS4, then we say install, or no, not install, I'm sorry about that. We say import BS4, then we say import requests, and then we would say import LXML. Okay, LXML. Then what we will do is that we will provide a link that we would want to use, a web page that we want to use. Okay, so in this case, we would just create a very simple request. So we'll say res. This is a variable with which we will assign a particular website. Okay, so what we'll say is this: request.get, and instead of this, we will be putting in the link of whatever website we want the data of. So let's say I want to get the data of a website. Let's just say let's go to some website. Let's just say I want to go to Microsoft.com. Okay, so I go to Microsoft.com and I just want to get the data, the complete page. I want to get all the information out of this. So I can just copy this and I can put this link over here. Okay, now this doesn't happen like for every other website. They do have some blockers which don't allow you to have these requests, but some do, and let's see if this will allow us to do that or not. Then we will actually use something called a soup. Okay, so we'll create a soup using beautiful soup for. Okay, so we'll just say bs4 dot pau beautiful soup, and then we will say res.text. So we basically want to take the text from this res. What is this res? Res is basically going to be the complete code of this web page, right? So it will be having all the tags, HTML tags. I hope you understand. If you were to go to this page, you can just say view page source and you will get the complete code, right? So this is code that you are seeing here. You will be able to get all of this code just by having that res. If we just print that res, we will see this complete thing pop up into our terminal. What we want though is the data inside of it. Okay, now what is the data? Data is basically whatever is enclosed in your body. Okay, so let me just see where the body is. Well, you can actually go to inspect, and here you can just take a look at where the body really is, right? So the body is ending over here. We have some script tags, and before that we have all of this divs, right? So this is what is happening here. We have this body element, and in this we have divs, we have iframe, sandbox, okay, whatever. This is the section. This is the section part in which we have some divs which have some information. Okay, that's not what we are looking for here. Let me just close this. I just want to show you what happens. But we actually want to take a look at the data here, right? So we want the data, and that is what we'll get by using this. We will actually say, okay, and then what we'll do, then we will just try to print soup. Okay, so now if we just print soup, let's see what do we end up getting. All right. What you're seeing is here is that it's just a bunch of data. Like, okay, so it's just looks like we're like a hacker, man. So as you can see, basically all the code was spitted out, okay, from that complete page into this place here, right? So now we have this complete thing. Let me see what other things can we do. So this is basically what we call web scraping, right? So we just take some data and try to scrape it. Okay, we have like a bunch of data over here, as you've seen here. We have just a lot of information. Okay, but we can actually extract the useful part from this, and that's what we'll be taking a look at right now. Okay, so what I'll do now is that I will go to like a Wikipedia page. Okay, so let's try to go to a Wikipedia page of Unacademy itself. Right, let's just see what's there on the Unacademy's Wikipedia page. All right, so it has all this information about Unacademy. Let me just capture this page URL. I'll just get this and I'll put it into this particular URL that I have here. So instead of Microsoft, we now have this one right here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hi Nikunj, hi Jeet. Guys, we're learning what web scraping really is, and at the very end we'll be creating our very own Amazon tracker, right? So what we'll do is that we'll just go to Amazon. This is what we'll be doing in some time. Okay, so maybe today or maybe tomorrow we have the part 2 of this class, in which we'll be taking a look at how to actually track the price of anything, right? So let's say if I go for laptop, and if I just click on any laptop that I see here, I can take this link and I can put it over here, and when I do that, I can get the complete information that is present on this page, and then I can extract the useful one. Okay, so what is the useful information here? First of all, this is the useful one, the name. Okay, the name, the string that you have here, this is the useful information. I want to track the price of this laptop. Okay, whatever laptop I have, I'll just track the name first of all, and then I want to track what the price is right here, right? So you see this price is written here. I want to track that, and I want to say that, okay, if the price goes below, let's say 35,000 in this case, I want to get notified. Okay, this is the program that we'll be making across in this 2 classes. This is the first class, 30-minute session we'll be having. Today is the first one, tomorrow is the second one, and we'll try to build this up. Okay, So let me just close this for now. We are only focusing on Unacademy. We'll just learn how web scraping really happens. So let's see, what do we do here? We can actually say this. We can say for in soup dot select. Okay, so we now want to select something. What is it that we want to select? Let's take a look at that. So we want the data which has this class. Okay, the class is MW headline. Okay, now here what I'm doing is that I am searching for all the elements which have this class of MW headline. Okay, what is this headline about? We'll take a look at that. So here we'll just say, I just want to print I dot text. Okay, I just want to print I dot text. Okay, and now if I were to run this program, let's see, what do we get? We get all of these things. So what is happening here is that we get history, we get acquisitions, we get Unacademy Plus subscription, which, by the way, if you are interested, you can get that as well by using my code ISHANYT10. Or I also have a lot of special classes on the Unacademy platform. If you want to subscribe, if you just want to attend those for free, you can use the code ISHANYT10 to unlock that. But anyways, we're just learning about web scraping right now. So let's focus on that. So yeah, you can just take a look at what all headings do we have. So basically what this does is that it gets this information. Okay, you have history, you have acquisitions, basically all the headlines that you see in the contents. Okay, and this is not just for Unacademy's page, this can be true for any page out there. All right, that's what will be happening here. Okay, so that's what I want you to understand here. Let's see what other things can we do. What you know what you can do here is that you can just search. You can let's say if I search for let's say Bitcoin, for example. Okay, Bitcoin Wikipedia. If I search for this, you see you have this link, right? The link says wiki/Bitcoin. Okay, wiki/Bitcoin. So what I can do is that I can just ask the user, what is it that you want to know the information of? Okay, so let's say they want to know the information of Bitcoin. So I can use this input field and I can get some input. I can put that input into my URL, and after that I can use that particular URL and I can scrape all the data from this part, right? That's what I do. But now let's talk about how did I get MW headline. So what you do is that you go to inspect element. Okay, go to inspect element, and after that what you would be doing is you would hover over each of these and you would see that, okay, this is what it is about. It says .toctext. So we can either use that or we can use this. Okay, so right now I am getting .mw headline. Okay, so I can just get all of these by using this particular class. We get the complete code, we search for a particular class or an ID, and when we get that, we want to separate it from the noise. Okay, the noise is everything that does not have that particular class that we are searching for. And the same thing you can do with other websites as well. Depends on like how do you want to, what exactly do you want to do, right? So let's say you want to take a look at links that get redirected to some other link. So for that I can just use MW redirect. Okay, I can just say MW redirect, and if I just run this right now, let's see what do we get. We get all of these things. Okay, so we get e-learning, distance education, edtech. Well, basically it is getting all the links. Okay, online education, YouTube channel, all of these things. It is getting the information for all of these links and it is just putting it over here. Okay, so yeah, that's what is happening here. I can also go to like some other website like apple.in, and then I can search for a lot of things. Okay, so let's say I want to get all of these headings. These headings have, okay, they seem to have a different, okay, it has ACGN link. Okay, and then it says ACGN link. ACGN link. Basically, we are tracking what is the class. Okay, what class is this anchor tag using? Okay, it says ACGN link. So now let me just do this. I can just copy this and I can put this link over here. Okay, I can just put this link over here, and then I can say, I can just use that ACGN link. Okay, it says ACGN and it says link. You save this, and now ACGN link. Yeah, I was just confirming once more. Okay, now if you were to just play this once more, we would get all of the links that you have, ACGN link. So all of the material on the website that has a class of ACGN link gets like separated. Okay, and we can do a lot of things here now. Let's say now let's actually talk about Amazon. Okay, so if you go to Amazon, let's get to the point here. Let's say you want to go for some, what is it? Yeah, laptop we were talking about, right? So laptop, and in this laptop category, let me try to inspect element. Okay, let me do inspect element right here. And when I do that, let me click on these elements. So what you see here is that A size medium, A color base, A text normal. If I go down, it says A size medium, A color base, A text normal. So basically all of these spans have this class basically. Okay, so this is what it has. What we can do is that we can use this. Okay, so let's say I can just use this particular link. I can just use this link. I can put this link over here. So now we have this search link that we just searched for laptop, and then we can put in that particular class. Okay, so in this case, the class here is A size medium, or we can just go to the price itself, right? So it says A price whole. Okay, A price whole. So now if I just search, if I just change that to A price whole, A price whole, save this. Let me just check once more. A price whole. Yep, I think that is correct. Let me just play this and see what happens. What do we end up getting? Okay, so now we searched for we have this link. Okay, and now what we are getting is that we're getting a list of the prices of the laptops that are listed there. Okay, so now we have this. What we can also do is that we can create particular, so I can just say, okay, so I want laptop prices, and that can be equal to soup dot find, or we can actually say select soup dot select, and we can put in that particular name. So A price whole, right? And save this, and then we go to the next part, which we can also take in the laptop name. So the laptop name. So this is what we do, and inside of this we can always just say soup dot select, and here we will just put in the class that we are using. So in this case, the class would be dot A, what is it? What is the class? Class is dot A size medium. Let me see if this is used anywhere else. A size medium. Okay. So let's just try to use this right now. A truncate. Yeah, so A size medium. Okay, A size medium. Save this, and then what we can do is that we can just directly use these variables here. Okay, so we can just say for laptop name, and then we can say for IN. Okay, so we are having nested conditionals here. We say for IN the prices, so laptop prices, we want to actually say print, and we'll do a f literal here, f string literal, and we would actually say this laptop. You would say laptop name is priced at, and here we'll just put in the laptop prices. All right. So, oh no, actually we'll be using something else. Sorry. So we'll say J here, and we would say I. Okay, we'll say I, and we'll replace this prices by J. Okay, yeah, because we are we have a counter here, right? So we have I and then we have J. So now we say for all of the elements that I have inside, for all the objects that I have inside of my list, and I do it 2 times. So one is for the laptop name and the second is for the laptop prices. I print out a f string literal which says this laptop is priced at this price, right? So you can just print this out right here. Let's see if this works. Okay, it does not work really. So what we can do maybe is that we can just take this, Control X, and then just put it over here, and then we can take this, we can take this and we can put it over here. It works sometimes and then it sometimes doesn't work properly. Okay, and now if I were to save and then run this once more, let's see if this works. All right, it doesn't work again. Let's see what can we do here. So we can just say print I. Oh, we are actually supposed to say I.text here, right? So my bad. So we say I.text, and we here say I or J.text. Let's see if this works out. Nope. All right. Let's do this. Print I.text. Let's try to print this. Let's see what the problem is here. Let me save. Let me just print this out. Okay, this is not working. All right, so let's try to do something else. Let's try to get some other thing. Let me try to show you what you can do when you want to track their exact prices. Okay, so let's do that right now. What you can do is that you can create a different file. Okay, so you can create a completely different file that will be called by the name of setting.json. Okay, so what you can do is that you can just make a different file here. You can call this settings.json, and then you can mention a few things. So what you can do is here is that you can again just say you can say URL, and you can put in your URL there here. Okay, and after that, once you have the URL here, you can now put in the budget. Okay, so you can put in what your budget is, and we can store it over here. Let that be a number itself. Okay, then wait a minute. All right, so here what we need to do is that we need to put in the next thing. That would be like remind time. Okay, so like how much time do you want it to take to remind you afterwards? So we can do like a remind time as well. Okay, remind time, and we can put that to be equal to some number as well. This would be in milliseconds. Okay, and after that you can make it like this, remind sound path. Okay, now this would be some sound that you would play whenever the price goes down. All right, so if the price goes down, then you'd want to play this right there. So let's say I have this itself. I can just copy this out and I can put this right here. All right, very simple. The price of this thing is currently 39,000. So let's just go ahead and put it to be like my budget is about 40,000. So let's say if this works. So remind time, let's just make that 3600, and the path can be like sound or like we can say ding.wave. Okay, so we can just have like a sound effect that we can download from somewhere and we can start using that. So here we have it, a settings.json, and after that you can create another folder, another file, you can call that like main.py, and here you can just start putting in everything together. Okay, let's see if we have the time to do that. I think we don't have enough time. Okay, so what I'll do here is that I will actually I'll start the process of just coding this out, but if we don't end up completing it, then we'll take use of the next class. I want you to understand this one part. Okay, so we will just say import request, then we'll say import, or we'll say from bs4 import beautiful soup. Then again we can say import, if you want to have some sound effects, let's not worry about sound effects right now. Let's just have like a very simple interface here. Then we can also use import OS, because we will be using that settings.json file, and then we will also need to unpack that JSON. So for that we will be using the import JSON. Well, basically, if you don't know, JSON is a way for you to store some data. That is basically a short form for JavaScript object notation. In that you would be just storing whatever data you have. So in this case, I have the URL, I have the budget, I have the remind time, and then I have the remind sound path. Okay, and I have assigned the values over there as well. So next what we'll do is this, we will just say import time as well, because again we want to use that remind time feature as well. So what we'll do is that we'll say with open, and we will just put in settings.json, and we want to open it in write mode. Okay, so then we will say as file, and then we can just say settings equal to json.load, and we'll put in that particular file. So we want to basically load in this file that we have, settings.json. Okay, so let me save this right here, and after that let's try to just basically use, we are not using pygame here. Then what we can say is that we can just say my price, and that would be equal to, I have my settings, and in that we are just worried about the budget. Okay, so we'll just get the budget from that. Okay, so we basically now have the budget here. Okay, let's move to the next part. And the next what we'll do is that we will actually try to have our URL. Okay, so the URL would basically be whatever settings we have, we'll go into that and we will get the URL, right? So this is what we do here. And after that, we will be using a header. So if you want to extract some information, you need to have this header set up for you. It's nothing too complicated. You would basically just say that I want to have like some user agent, right? User agent. I think that's how it works. And then you can just put in what do you have. So I can just search for my user agent and you would get this information, Mozilla, whatever it is. Just copy this and put it over here. And that's it. That's what you need to do here. After that, we can just have a function to just check for price. So we can just say checking for the price, right? So we are just checking for the price. We will just say page. Okay, what exactly the page is. So we will just use request.get. We will use the URL and we will have header equal to headers. Okay, really important. After that, what you would do is that you would want to take out the soup from that. Or we can just say beautiful soup. We will put in this page that we have and we will say page.content. And after that, we will use our HTML parser. So we'll say HTML parser, and then we want to find out the elements. Okay, so what elements do we actually have here, right? So let's take a look at that, what their ID is and basically how does it all work. So if I go to inspect here, let's poke around and see what is this all about. Let's see. So this basically has the title. Where did it go? Okay, so we have h1, which has an ID of title. Then it has a class of a size large, a spacing none. Okay, that's what we can just use it to just mention that. And then we can use this to, this is called as a price block deal price. Price block deal price. Okay, so we'll be using these two things here. We would actually say this. So product title, and that would be equal to soup.find something that has an ID of title, and then we will say whatever we have here, if we want to get the text of it, so we'll say get text. Okay, get text. Then we will say product price, and we will equate that to be equal to soup.find. We'll put in an ID, and this ID would be price block deal price, whatever the ID was here. What does it say? Price block deal price. Okay, so price block deal price. It has a underscore in between. Okay, so we will put that here. We'll say price block deal price. All right, that's what we'll use here. And again, we will just say dot get text. Okay, and after this, we can now, what we'll do is that we will remove a few things. So let's see what we can do. Okay, product price, right? So we would actually say this product underscore price. Let's see, we can just print this out, right? So let's say I want to print something. So I'll say the name of the product is, and we will put in the name, right? So we will say product, we will actually say product title, and we will use dot strip basically. Okay, dot strip. And yeah, I think that should work here. And again, we will use a print statement to just print the price is, and here we can just put down the price. So for that, we'll be using a product price here. Okay, and this is how we can get started. Again, there's a lot more that we can do here, but we are out of time, so we'll end it right here, guys. Thank you all for joining. I will be doing the second part of this tomorrow, same time. We'll be decoding, we'll see how to exactly get this. I hope you've understood. Basically, we just catch their ID or their class, and using that we get our particular information from the complete page. Okay, so yeah, thank you all for joining me here, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. We will finish